Hello class 6, how are you? I hope you are safe and sound and also going through all the revision work and the materials and the videos simultaneously. Please do so as you have the opportunity now. In class, you don't get the opportunity to review our notes and the lectures often and for twice and thrice. So please try to utilize your time as much as possible. Today I have come again to talk about the second chapter of your geography. You have done with the first chapter, now it's time to do with the second chapter that has the heading Globe, Latitudes and Longitudes. So from now onwards, as you have got 3 different books, one for history, geography and civics, it is very obvious that all the 3 subjects will become more explanatory and they will be giving you more and more information possible. So please do not waste your time and utilize your time sincerely so that you can understand each and every concept very well and precisely. I will be finishing the chapter in 2 different videos for you to understand it in a better way. In the first slide, I will be talking about the half portion and in the next about the rest of the portion. So let's get started. Coming to the chapter, we will see that first we will see what's a globe. Okay, now as we all know that globe is a true representation of the earth. Okay, a globe can be of various size and types. All right, you must have seen a globe and many of you must have it at home. So please, you may sit with your globe and see that how it acts as a miniature form of the earth. Now, if you carefully see a globe, you will see that it has 2 points, one at the top, one at the bottom. Now, if we want to put a thin strip of string or something from one point to the other, from one dot to the other part of the globe, then that particular or if we have a fixed needle through the globe in a tilted manner, we will be calling it as axis. So axis, what is an axis? An axis is a imaginary line that goes through from one part of the globe or runs through from one end of the globe to the other. Now, those 2 points through which the needle passes are called the North Pole and South Pole. Okay, a globe can be moved around its needle from west to east, and this is exactly how the earth moves. An earth moves from west to east. So if we want to hold that and we want to move it from west to east, it will be exactly like the earth. Now, another imaginary line on the globe that divides the globe into 2 equal halves from the middle is called equator. Now children, I cannot show you like physically on the board. So for that reason, I have drawn and I have given you a few images of the same making a PPT. Now what you will do is you will open it, you will see and carefully draw those. While drawing, you will understand how these look like and how are their orientation. Now the northern half of the earth is called the northern hemisphere and the southern half is called the southern hemisphere. If you take an egg and you want to divide it from the middle, so one half of the egg, just imagine it as one of the part of the globe. So it will be the northern hemisphere and the other part will be southern hemisphere. The one on top will be north and the one on bottom will be the southern hemisphere. Now, they both are the equal halves. The equator is an imaginary circular line and is very important reference point to locate places on the earth. So, latitude is mainly used for locating different places on the earth. If I tell you, find out the place on 30 degree 20 minutes latitude. So, I mean that place is located on that particular latitude. So latitude runs through the globe in a east-west direction. They are called parallels because they are drawn parallelly from one from each other, and they are laid in a horizontal manner. Okay. Now, just now more about the reading more about the latitudes, we know that they are all circles, and from the equator up to the poles they are called parallels of latitude, and they are measured in degrees. The equator represents the 0 degree latitude. Okay. Since the distance from the equator to either of the pole is 1/4 of a circle round the earth, it will be measured, it will measure 1/4 of 360 degrees. Now, why 360 degree? We know that the area of a sphere is always 360 degree. So, if we are considering the sphere as an earth, as the earth looks like a sphere, the actual shape is called geoid, Geoid. If I ask you what is the true shape of the earth, you have to tell me the earth is geoid in shape. Okay, so that means it is little flattened at the top and it has bulges towards the equator. So we will see that it will measure 1/4 of 360 degree, that is 90 degree. Thus 90 degrees north latitude marks the North Pole and 90 degrees south latitude marks the South Pole. All parallels of the north are called the north latitudes, and all parallels in the south are called the south latitude, and the equator lies in the middle. So first we have the equator as the middle, middle point of the globe, the earth. We have 90 different parallels till North Pole and 90 different parallels till South Pole. Okay. The value of the latitude is therefore followed by either the word north or south. So if I ask you to mark 40 degrees south latitude, you will find it and right beside it 40 degrees south, S in capital. Okay, that means it's a south hemisphere latitude. And suppose I ask you to mark 5 degree north latitude. So just above the equator you will mark 5 degree north latitude and you will write N in capital. Got it? Understood? Okay. Now for example, here in this I am giving you the example from the book. Like both Chandrapur in Maharashtra and Belo Horizonte in Brazil, which is in South America, are on the same parallels of about 20 degree latitude, but the former is 20 degree north of the equator and the latter is 20 degrees south of the equator. Got it? Therefore, we say that Chandrapur is situated 20 degree N latitude and Belo Horizonte 20 degrees south latitude. Okay. Now, what are the different parallels of latitude? What are the major parallels of latitude? There are, we can see beside the equator, the North Pole, the South Pole, and 3 major important parallels of latitudes are there. What are they? We are getting Tropic of Cancer, that is located at 23.5 degree north in the northern hemisphere. Similarly, in the southern hemisphere, we have Tropic of Capricorn. Then we have at 66.5 degree north Arctic Circle and at 66.5 degrees south Antarctic Circle. Okay? So, in this way, in a perfect manner, the parallels are placed, which are the imaginary horizontal lines. All are great circles, like all are like circles, and they are located at drawn parallelly onto the Earth's surface. So we are getting the names of the major latitude, which is a great circle, that is the equator at 0 degree. Then we have at 23.5 degree we have Tropic of Cancer. At 23.5 degree south we have the Tropic of Capricorn. 66.5 degree north we have the Arctic Circle, 66.5 degrees south we have the Antarctic Circle, 90 degree north, which is actually a point, poles are the points. So at the point we are getting 90 degree north, and in the southern hemisphere 90 degree south. Now heat zones of the earth. Now from where the heat zones are coming? Suddenly we were discussing about the parallels. Ma'am, you told us about the different parallels. Then how come these heat zones are appearing now? So why we will also read about the heat zone is because we all know that the earth is moving around the sun, and therefore the different parts of the earth comes in front of the sun at different time of the year, at different time of the day. So we need to know that which portion gets, like accordingly we have divided 3 different heat zones, and different places fall under different heat zones. So we need to know that which are the places that falls under different zones. So how do we do it? The midday sun is exactly overhead at least once in a year on all latitudes in between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So between 0 to 23.5 degree north and 0 to 23.5 degrees south, the midday sun is overhead at least once a year. This area receives the maximum heat and is called the torrid zone. This is also to tell you that the sun always gives its ray vertically onto equator. So it is very natural the places near to the equator, that is this particular zone, 0 to 23.5 degree north and 0 to 23.5 degrees south, this particular portion receives maximum temperature throughout the year. Thus it is called as torrid zone. Next comes the temperate zone. The midday sun never shines overhead on any latitude beyond Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. The angle of the rays sun gets on decreasing towards the pole. As such, the areas bounded by Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere and Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere have moderate temperature. Therefore, they are called temperate zones. So the word temperate has come from moderate temperature zones, which lies between Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere and Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. In this particular zone, as the sun, like the direct rays of the sun does not fall on this place. Why? Because it starts decreasing towards the pole. Okay, the sun rays do not fall directly, but they are oblique or slanted. They fall slantedly on these places. So naturally, they get lesser amount of heat and light energy from the sun. So these places are not that hot. These places are having cool and mild climate. That is why they are called temperate zones. Clear? Okay, no problem. Okay, now the third zone is frigid zone. The areas lying between the Arctic Circle in the North Pole in the northern hemisphere and the Antarctic Circle and South Pole in the southern hemisphere are very, very cold. It has to be, because the sun rays by this time has decreased potentially and very, very less sun rays are falling onto the poles. So the portion between the Arctic Circle and the northern hemisphere in the like Arctic Circle and the North Pole in the northern hemisphere and Antarctic Circle and South Pole in the southern hemisphere are very cold. It is because the sun does not rise much above the horizon. The rays are always slanting and provide less heat. Therefore, they are called the frigid zone. Okay, here we have the permanent snow-capped region where the sun rays are so little that they are not being able to melt the dense snow cover. So these areas fall under the frigid zone, which are very cold. Okay, we will stop here today, children. So today we have learnt about a globe, its function, what is an equator, what is an axis, how the globe works. Then we have read about what is a parallel, how they are placed, what are the different parallels, what are their functions, what is a frigid, what are the different heat zones, and Where are they located? In the next class, we will start off with the longitude and see that as the latitudes or the parallels of latitudes has a major role in determining the location of a particular place, what is the work of a longitude and how do they look like? What is their placement? All right. So children, till this you will go through the chapter minutely and you will try to understand each and every point carefully. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.